Hello, from Gainesville, Florida, down in the swamp. It's me, Blue Steel. I want to tell you about our legal system here in the great state of Florida. I want to start off with this fella. Pay close attention to him.
What do you expect to see? Anything new when the documents are released?
Well, I'm hopeful that they'll actually show that there was a cover-up, that there was a conspiracy, and that the CIA knew about Oswald, that the government knew about the conspiracy between the mafia, possibly Fidel Castro, possibly Khrushchev, and they'll show everything that they can do to show that there was definitely a conspiracy and that Oswald was not the sole person in charge of this orchestra.
Well, that's how we're going to listen to about him. Because the story is about him. He was an attorney. A divorce attorney. And handled estates. This is from the Gazette. A Tampa attorney who was sentenced to 8 years of sex offender probation and no prison time after pleading guilty to 34 counts, 34 felonies, which is for child pornography. And this is what we talk about, the lowest of the low. And still will not acknowledge the wrongful nature of his conduct, a Florida judge said. But that's not the judge that tried him. That's the judge that was a referee in this Florida bar case of 52-year-old Christon Ragano. Okay, he's the attorney that got caught. He was 34 counts of child pornography, 34 felonies. This is from the Miami Herald. A Tampa attorney was sentenced to 8 years of sex offender probation and no prison time after pleading guilty to 34 counts. Okay, the plea that he entered was called an Alford plea, And it's legally saying a guilty plea is in my best interest, but it's also maintaining your innocence. That's how he was allowed to plea. In the court, in Superior Court, in Hillsborough County. That's how he was allowed to plea. He also got 6 months prison time, but that was waived for the little bit of time that he spent in jail. Which shouldn't go towards your sentence anyway. Especially something as heinous as this. Alright. In recommending Ragano's disbarment and action, this is the disbarment. An action the state Supreme Court took on December 8th in Pinellas County Circuit Court. Judge Mark Jirokta Jirotka quoted the concerns of licensed mental health counselor Dr. Wendy Coughlin and Ragano's own testimony in explaining why he felt Ragano showed a refusal to acknowledge the wrongful nature of his conduct. This man, by his own testimony, by the mental health examiner, she's probably a psychiatrist, she deemed the same thing that he said, and they still let him get away with an Alford plea. No time, no nothing. I mean, this is our Florida justice system. This is justice. This is what goes on here. And this attorney, he's only disbarred for 5 years. In 5 years, he can get his license back and go back to practice. This is despicable. This is our justice system. So I want to show you the judge. Okay, this is the judge. He's from Illinois. All right, he went to school in Chicago. to get his bachelor's degree. This guy over here, he's the grandson of the attorney that defended Jimmy Hoffa. Another organized crime. This judge here, before getting his judgeship, he belonged to a real estate group. I mean, it just, and look how they say, don't come to my courtroom without a good porpoise. Like a porpoise, like a dolphin. But anyway, this is Judge George Mark Jirokta. George Mark Jirokta, Superior Court Judge. This is the judge that let this man, 34 counts of child pornography, and he's a defense attorney. And also, his son, I believe it was, I'm just alleging, but his close family member has similar charges. So the next time when someone approaches the chairman of the discipline in college for law and wants to pursue a career in law, maybe they might steer him in another career direction, because these people are some, I don't know what goes on here. I'm not from the Tampa area, but it looks like justice isn't being served by this man in the Superior Court. And the district attorney that came with the plea bargain and all that, I mean, you know, they went along with all this, Alfred plea, this is despicable. But this just happened. This is prominent news. Thursday, January 5th, 2023. This is what goes on in the state of Florida. This is what happens here. 8 years of probation. And 5 years of probation on a transmission charge. He literally stated that he got this computer so he could enter the dark web. It's all on here. You can read it yourself. And the only reason he got caught is because he clicked the wrong button. He meant to save the images, but he accidentally sent them to Microsoft. That's the only reason he got caught. It was meant to be that he got caught, and look what they did. Nothing. He's got to take 3 months in sexual therapy. And in 5 years, he'll be back practicing. The mental health advisor that advised the court on his behavior, he says he just generalizes, you know. I mean, people who brought Christon Ragano will use his superior intellect and capacity to compare himself out of the sexual offender population and continue to minimize his behavior, justifying that he did not mean to view the child pornography and was exercising professional curiosity. Remember, the only reason he got caught is because he hit the send button to Microsoft like a fucking dunce. See, these people all have their own undoing. But that's what he got. 34 counts, 34 felonies from this judge rendered his punishment. Judge George Mark Jirokta. Don't come to my courtroom without a good porpoise. This is Florida. Thanks for your time and effort. Appreciate it.